Today we're taking a look at ASX listed stock Galan Lithium. The ticker on the ASX is GLN. We're going to be providing a fundamental overview of the company today, as well as doing some technical analysis in order to make predictions on where we can expect to see GLN go in the near future. Let's take a look. I've partnered with Crypto.com to provide my viewers with an awesome opportunity to accelerate their crypto journey. Crypto.com is used by over 50 million users in 90 countries across the globe and is a leading platform for buying, selling and staking crypto. They also offer metal Visa cards with a huge range of rewards that allow you to convert and withdraw your crypto in fiat currency. Crypto.com is offering a $25 sign up reward using my affiliate link in the description or by entering affiliate code RyanProven. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. We're looking at another lithium stock today, and that is Galan Lithium. Their ticker on the ASX is GLN, and this stock caught my eye because it is a notable resource on the basis of its grade, which is obviously very significant when we're looking at companies that fit for the profile for lithium producers or future lithium producers that can provide that battery grade material which the vendors are after. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and perform a fundamental overview of the company. To kick things off, this company has a very strong position for an explorer. Right now they're sitting at a market capitalization of roughly $450 million Australian, and their cash position net is $54 million as well, which is very good in all consideration. Now that allows us to basically immediately identify that this is a resource which has the funding in order to perform the necessary due diligence leading up to becoming a production facility or a production mine, salar, etc. Now, the main project itself that Galan Lithium is targeting is the Hombre Muerto project, and this is a lithium project which is within the lithium triangle. For this sort of specific project, we're talking Argentina, and the Hombre Muerto Salar is home to many other big lithium producers at the moment, such as Livent, Allkem and POSCO. So those are some names that I'd expect many people to know. Now recently they increased this resource. Their mineral resource increased in fact by 2.5 times, which is very big, to a total of 5.8 million tons contained LCE, and that is at 866 milligrams of lithium, with 76% now in the measured category. So very important when we're looking at that. Obviously, as we know, lithium is in high demand. High grade lithium in particular is one of those things we really want to be focusing on. Now, this project itself has some pretty compelling economics as well. Right now, the PEA outcome is looking at roughly 20,000 tons per annum of LCE purely at the Hombre Muerto project. It's low risk, it's got a 40-year mine life. Basically, what we're looking at pre-tax NPV of roughly about $2.2 billion and an IRR, which is of course very important, of 37.5%, and you're looking at roughly a 3-year payback period based on that. But keep in mind, right now we're seeing lithium prices continue to rise, so of course the IRR is going to improve. The payback period is also going to lessen as well. Now, it's also worth noting 60% of the indicated resource, which was utilized in the PEA, has a substantial output and life upsize as well. Now, right now, what we've seen is their pilot plant has commenced operations. Basically, what it is a 5,000 meter squared evaporation pond. Basically, we're at the point where the pond has been filled, complete, and evaporation testing is now underway. Very important stuff there. And obviously, once the pilot plant can basically prove that yes, this is a project that we can start to, expand and advance on. That's when you're going to see the real boom start with Galan Lithium. Now, whilst this is the main project that Galan is focusing on, there is another project which also really caught my attention when looking at this company, and that is Greenbushes South. Now, this is a lithium project that is in joint venture stages. Right now, Galan have an 80% ownership, and it is just 3 kilometers south of the Greenbushes lithium mine, as we know, one of the absolute best lithium mines in the world. And as you would expect, if we are seeing that these tenements continue to show similar sort of grades when exploration is commencing, then we are in for a serious boost in the valuation of this company. If we start to see the results that we have seen at Greenbushes be reproduced at the Greenbushes South project, then this is going to be an absolute money printer for Galan as well. And the beauty of this is, now what we're looking at is a company which has 2 potential projects that are in the hard rock and the brine lithium space. So they are diversifying in that aspect, as well as having an Australian based operation as well as an Argentinian based operation. Right now, drilling is being targeted at the Greenbushes South project from late 2022. So when we start to see the results of that come out, that is really when you want to be watching this company. I hope that provided you with a good fundamental overview of the company, but now what we're going to do is jump into the chart, perform some technical analysis, and try and make some predictions on where we can expect to see Galan Lithium go in the near future. Let's take a look. Welcome into the Galan Lithium chart, guys. First things first, as you can see, right now we are sitting at about $1.53, and we have had an all-time high back over here on the 7th of April, and that all-time high was $2.33. So obviously there has been a bit of a drop, but you can see that downtrend which was in place was certainly broken back over here in July. And since that point, what we have seen is a nice climb up towards where we're currently sitting. So all in all, let's put in a few, I suppose, points of support and a few points of resistance as well. Right now, what you see is a channel I've drawn, and I've drawn the channel like this because you can see multiple points have been touched on the bottom and the top of which you can see false breakouts have occurred on multiple occasions as well, and we're sitting within that at this point in time. So I think on a medium term trajectory, this is sort of where we are moving and where we're going to, I suppose, ideally go. Obviously an uptrend is fantastic, and of course if we zoom out a bit you can see the uptrend, whilst yes it was broken back down over here of course in April, it has been long term, and if we were to put a line in place for the long term trend, you'd notice that basically this trend has realistically been put in place based on the previous 2 drops. So all in all, looking pretty good at this point in time. What else do I notice? Well, I can see clearly that we have a decent little gap here, and the gap is from this point, the 19th of October, we had a day high of $1.30, and back over here on the 25th of October we've had a low of $1.42. So of course what we're going to see is a bit of a gap form, and typically when we see gaps we do expect them to close. Now given that we are moving back from the top end of the channel down to the bottom, I wouldn't be surprised if that occurred, and by closing that gap, we don't even touch the bottom end of our upwards trending channel as well. I think it is quite likely that we could see this gap close, although we have seen the 20 and the 50-day moving averages just cross above the 200-day. That 50 and the 200 are going to be a major point of support for us, so if we don't see a bounce off that, the gap will almost certainly be closed. But if we do see a bounce or we get some really good news occurring, I would expect that the gap would not be closed at this point in time. Let's take a look at something else, the volume. Now the volume spiked obviously when that gap was formed and has been decreasing since. This indicates that there is consolidation now starting to occur. The great thing is, whilst yes we have had this red period, the volume hasn't been huge, which indicates to me that a sell-off really hasn't occurred. Yes, some traders have certainly gotten out, but long-term investors have managed to hold their ground. Let's have a look now at the relative strength index. Now the relative strength index is showing that we were certainly overbought during that spike, as well as back at the very top of our most recent run, 75.9. We've dropped all the way down. Now we're sitting at about 52.06. So there is room for us to continue moving back up to retest that top line, but also if that gap were to close, there is room as well there. So RSI is not really giving us too much information at this point. MACD, this will be the telling one. And you can see a cross has occurred back here of the 12-day EMA below the 26-day. That was on the 15th of November. Now the red period is still in place. And of course, it looks like it has topped, but you never know in these sort of scenarios when there's so many different factors. But if things were to ease off and we do see that 12-day EMA start to swoop up back to cross again above the 26-day EMA, I'd actually expect that this gap wouldn't be closed. Now, based on what I have seen historically, if we zoom out, I would tend to expect that we are going to see a bit more red and a bit more of a downwards trend up until the point at which we do have the crossover again, indicating the gap might be closed. So realistically, where does that put us? Well, I'm actually going to put a low price target, and this is being conservative, and that is $1.30. That is our gap. That is something that needs to be closed from a trading perspective. I'll chuck it on blue there. But once we have closed that gap, and let's say worst case scenario, the gap closes, I'd suggest probably about here, of course, where the lines intersect, middle of December, not too far away. What we are going to see is going to be, of course, a bounce off that line and then moving back up, of course, to once again test this point at the top. Although it might not be that smooth, we might get a bit of this. We are still moving overall in the upwards direction, which is what we want to see. So short term, I expect a drop to $1.30. Long term, I'm expecting once again to hit that $1.7879 mark. That wraps up today's video on Galan Lithium, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.